Hello and good afternoon, everyone. How are you all? I hope very, very well. Sorry, computer keeps popping up with messages. Okay, so today, let me just went away. Today we have a class. It's a history class of the United States, which, maybe one day, if I do enough of these classes, we'll have a Jeopardy class. And it will include some of these things that I've been including in my classes. So, what I'm going to do is go over states and what their nicknames are. So every state has a nickname. So you'll go somewhere, and it'll be like, what state is the such and such state? Well, this way you'll know. Some of them, well, I know two for sure, the two states that I've lived in. California and Utah, but I'll go over those as we go through. But if there's any of these states that you want to know more about, like, that's an interesting state nickname, I wonder how it got that nickname, please let me know. If you want, and some of them are very straightforward, so you'll see that as we go through. Alright, so we're going to go in alphabetical order. So, starting with Alabama. So, Alabama is not, most of them start with the, like the something state. Alabama's is Yellowhammer State. Have no idea why. And again, if you're interested at all, please let me know, and I'll find out more about Alabama. This next one I know a little bit more about, but Alaska, the Last Frontier is its state nickname. And that makes sense, because Alaska really is, a lot of it's kind of undiscovered because it's huge. Like, it's huge. But also, a lot of the places are very difficult to get to. Some of them are almost impassable, even with all the technology that we have. So that's why they call it the Last Frontier. And for people that have gone, that's the first thing that they'll say. They'll say, when you go to Alaska, you'll see why they call it the Last Frontier. It's pretty obvious. So, now this next one's an obvious one. Arizona is the Grand Canyon state, because the Grand Canyon is one of the greatest natural wonders of the world, and it lies mostly in Arizona. So, that is where Arizona got its name. Now, Arkansas is the natural state. Don't know why it's called that. Now, California, the Golden State. That's us. The Golden State. Why would we think the Golden State? Because of the beautiful sun, the LA, because not really, because there's Northern California, which is not sunny. It's actually clouded over 9 months out of the year. It actually has to do with one of the sports teams. And no, not the Golden State Warriors, because that doesn't tell you. But the 49ers. So the 49ers were named after people who went after gold. It started in 1848, but primarily the big boom was 1849. The 49ers, people came out here for gold. That's what everybody's looking for in California. And so that is why California is called the Golden State. Colorado is the Centennial State. I'm guessing that it might have something to do with the year 1876. And that's when it became a state. But again, I don't know for sure. There's Connecticut, the Constitution State. That's where the Constitution was written. Delaware is the first state. And I don't know if it was the first state. Florida is the Sunshine State. That might be for its sunshine. I don't think it's for anything else. I don't think it's like the Golden State. or something that's other than, or maybe shiny something, I don't know, but it's probably just because it's so sunny there. And it's equatorial, or closer to the equator. And then you have Georgia. And Georgia is the peach state, but Georgia peaches are a real thing. They're amazing peaches. If you ever get a chance to have some peach cobbler or something like that with Georgia peaches in Georgia, I recommend it. Hawaii is the aloha state, which means hello and goodbye. So, hello, and now good you're leaving. Goodbye. I don't know, but I think it's more of a, oh, we're so sorry you're leaving. And hello, it's good to see you. People are very nice from what I've heard in Hawaii. Then you have Idaho, which could have been the potato state, but I guess it's not that exciting, but it's called the Gem State. I don't know. Illinois, this makes sense. The Prairie State. And then there's Indiana, which is the Hoosier State. I forget what Hoosiers are. Except for the basketball term, I really don't know. I should. I'm old enough that I should, but I don't, so I won't venture a guess. Iowa is the Hawkeye State. Kansas, which I've been through most of these states. So far, I think it's just Hawaii and Alaska, the non-contiguous. But Kansas is the sunflower state, which I didn't see that many sunflowers when I was there, but maybe it's wrong time of year. Kentucky is the bluegrass state, which could have to do with the music, or that the grass does have a blue tint to it, or it is bluegrass. Louisiana is the pelican state. So, I don't know. Actually, I haven't been to Louisiana yet, so there might be a lot of pelicans there. Maine is the pine tree state, which is good to know. Maryland is the old line state. Yeah, I don't know. That doesn't sound very exciting at all. But it might have a really cool history to it. Massachusetts is the Bay State. Michigan, obviously, is the Great Lakes state. Has a lot of the Great Lakes in or around Michigan. Minnesota is the North Star state. Don't know. Mississippi, M-I-S-S-I-S-S-I-P-P-I. Sorry, I always have to spell it whenever I see it. Is not whenever, but most of the time. Is the Magnolia State. Missouri is the Show Me State. That's an interesting one. That'd be fun to know more about. Montana is the Treasure State. Then I really don't know about some of these. Nebraska, this one makes sense, is the Cornhusker State. Not steak. Cornhusker State. Oh, there's corn there. Nevada. Now, this might have to do with the gambling. This also might have to do with it. There may have been a lot of silver, but it's the Silver State. Just like California is the Golden State, Nevada is the Silver State. And people did mine for silver as well. It just wasn't worth quite as much as gold. New Hampshire is the Granite State. This one I never really understood, but New Jersey is the Garden State. Ooh, New Mexico has a cool one. The Land of Enchantment. I've been to New Mexico. I don't know if I'd call it all that, but I haven't lived there, so maybe it takes you a while. New York, this one's kind of obvious because it's a, whatchamacallit, it's a horizontal city, but the Empire State. But again, it's a horizontal, not horizontal, it's a vertical city, sorry, as opposed to a horizontal city. Just meaning that they fit a lot of people in a small space by making huge buildings, for people to live, work, and all of that. So the Empire State. North Carolina. Oh, pardon me. North Carolina is the Tar Heel State. I don't have a guess. Now, North Dakota. Oh, this one I've never heard of. All the other ones. But North Dakota is the Peace Garden State. Like peace, not a piece of something, like a piece of pie. But the Peace Garden State. Ohio is the Buckeye State. Oklahoma is the Sooner State. Oregon, which I know some about, it should be you can't pump your own gas state, but it's the Beaver State. But they're big on stuff that has to do with beavers. Yeah, I mean the college sports team is beavers. Pennsylvania is the Keystone State, maybe because of its location. Rhode Island is the Ocean State. Makes sense. It's an island, so it's surrounded by the Atlantic Ocean. South Carolina is the Palmetto State. Here's another obvious one that doesn't have that in it. South Dakota is Mount Rushmore State. They're thinking of changing that, which I kind of hope they do, to something more indigenous. Because Mount Rushmore, I don't know, it's kind of on sacred land. But anyway, Tennessee is the Volunteer State. Texas is the Lone Star State, which kind of, it has one star on its flag. Utah is the Beehive State. Now, people would think that has to do with a whole bunch of bees and beehives and such. It doesn't, because there really aren't, more at least than any other state that might have bees. They call it the Beehive State because bees are industrious and perseverant. And that's what Utahns want to be seen as, is they're industrious and they're constantly building and, kind of making things their own. So that's why they call it the Beehive State. It's more has to do with bees and how they work as opposed to beehives themselves. And Vermont is the Green Mountain State. That's another one I haven't been to. Virginia is the Old Dominion State. So there's Virginia, and there's Washington, which is the Evergreen State, and then there's West Virginia, which is the Mountain State. So Old Dominion State is Virginia, and then the other side of that West Virginia is the Mountain State. Interesting. Wisconsin is the Badger State. And Wyoming is the Equality or Cowboy State. That's interesting. Call it the Cowboy State or the Equality State. I don't know. So, there you have it. Those are your states, all states in alphabetical order, as well as their nicknames. So if you want to know any more about any of them, or a few of them, please let me know, and I will do a class on that. If you want to know more about, so I was thinking about maybe doing state flowers, what the state animal is. I think they're state birds, not specifically state animals. But yeah, no, ours isn't the California condor, or is it? Could be. Or is it the quail? I think ours is the quail. See, I'm not sure. How long have I lived here? Anyway, and I think there's also gems and things. But anyway, I hope you've had a wonderful day. If you have any questions, requests, anything like that, please feel free to ask or request. Okay, have a wonderful rest of your day, everybody.